Jordan Peterson, Neil Ferguson, Peter Thiel, they're strong voices for common sense. And joining their ranks is American academic and philosopher Peter Boghossian, who was at Portland State University until they cancelled him for questioning the credibility of what passes for academic work these days. Well, Peter was on the show a couple of weeks ago. You'll remember him. And I asked him what was his initial concerns with what Australia was facing.
Look, I get no joy as someone from the United States coming here and telling you what our country is doing and how we're exporting this nonsense. But the fact is that America, the United States of America, is exporting a dangerous, toxic ideology to the rest of the world.
I said to him, if I recall, you're going to get around, you're going to talk to Australians. Come back on the show before you go home and give us your sense of how bad we are or whether it's better than you thought. Peter joins me now. Well, you tell us, how hard or not so hard have we been hit by this toxic ideology of the woke, Peter?
Well, if Stalin's Soviet Union was a 10 and Portland, Oregon is an 8, Australia is hovering around a 3. However, I predict that that number will go up rather dramatically in the next year.
Now, that's interesting. I wouldn't have said we were a 3. Tell us why.
Well, the ideology hasn't had its way to metastasize through the system yet. And so there is, you see a little bit, you see elements of that with what's just recently happened with the Posey Parker incident. But the ideology hasn't had its way to worm its way through the system with bureaucracies and educational establishments and the analog of our K through 12, so our primary school education, teacher training.
So when you're talking to Australians, do you think that we are alive to the risk, that we're waking up to what's coming, that we're on guard about it? Or do you think that we think it'll never happen here?
You're sleepwalking. Australians are sleepwalking through the problem. They don't understand what's coming. They don't understand the extent of the problem, the lack of... We also come from different systems in different ways. We think about free speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press. And at this point in time, I don't think you realize the danger of the ideology and how it will spread through the institutions.
All right, we haven't got a lot of time. You tell us what we need to do to wake up to this.
I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. The first order of business is that you need to understand the meanings of words. The way that woke people use words, the traffic in word use, they change the meanings of words. These words do not think what people think they mean. For example, the difference between equity and inclusion. The difference between equity and equality. What is inclusion? What is diversity? What is a safe space? These words don't have the meanings that people think they use, and so it is absolutely essential that you do not let this language in any policy position, policy proposal, public policy, corporation, or business. Because once it's in, right, they'll swap the meanings of the words.
Professor Peter Boghossian, thank you for your time.